hate puppies.
It's good podcast.
I feel threatened. I don't know. It might not work.
Probably not.
We're going to find out. I see Troy's planning ahead, though, because he knows more than most. I dig it.
Yes, he does.
Got 3 cups left.
I dig it. That's how I know it's going to be an interesting episode, because we are, that's a GoPro mount. We are 45 seconds in. I'm already thinking about the deli. I usually like that to be around 40 minutes.
Yeah. We're excitable.
My math is off.
That doesn't sound like you.
It doesn't, does it? Thank you
No.
for that. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House. Thank you for joining us yet again on another week. I got to be honest, I'm pretty glad to be here. I've been on the road far too much.
Yeah, you have.
As of late. I'm going to be on the road a lot
I was going to say,
more.
it's not stopping either, is it?
No, unfortunately, I am breezing in and out of my life, I feel like, and that's kind of a weird feeling sometimes.
That's got to be weird, man. I've never traveled for work like that, and I guess you just get used to it, but it does sound like it sucks a lot.
I don't think you necessarily get used to it, but, well,
Some people get used to it.
Sometimes it is awesome. Like, I'll give you that, where sometimes I know I'm going to go do something cool, and it's like,
Yeah.
sweet. I get to go take off and go do something, but the next few
Sleeping in
weeks.
a hotel and room service is pretty cool.
I do love sleeping in a hotel. People
Yeah.
that don't enjoy that, I've never understood. Like, I mean, I don't sleep anywhere like I do at home, but I have no problem sleeping in a hotel bed.
Well, my bed sucks, so I don't mind sleeping
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah, you've been bitching about your bed for a little while. Are you any closer on your mattress search? I don't know. This is probably not exciting
We tried
to everybody.
purple, and that thing.
Oh, you actually tried it?
Well, we went in the store and
Yeah.
laid on that shit, and it was amazing.
Yeah, you were talking. I've never even.
I don't even know how to explain how amazing it is.
Wow.
Well, then I think you should just pull the trigger.
Don't they do like
yeah.
a 100-night sleep guarantee or something weird
Yeah,
like
something
that?
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the mattress is the one thing that you are going to be on all the damn
sure.
time.
I've been trying to sell my wife on a nice mattress for as long as we've been together, and she just is like, I'm cool. And I'm
You
like,
get back pain or anything, or
I mean, a little bit. I feel like there's better options.
right?
Like, it's not that mine's awful, but I feel like we bought our mattress 11 years ago. The technology they have now is amazing.
Right. So we get, we go look at the mattress. Then you see the price of the mattress. Then the idea of getting the one that, has the remote that bends it up and shit.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. So I'm like, but do we need that? It's like doubling the price of
Yeah.
everything.
That's where you get caught up with the sleep number beds and
Yeah.
all those things now. It's like, yes, you can have this mattress, which is a great mattress, but this one does other stuff.
But see, I don't currently sit. We don't currently sit in our room a
Yeah.
lot and watch TV. But is that because we don't have that, or is that just because of that's
Honestly, I don't even have a TV in my room.
really
Yeah, because I didn't want that.
right?
Like, that was a calculated move. Like,
Yeah.
don't put a TV in the bedroom, because I don't want to be going upstairs to watch TV every night. Plus, my wife goes to bed before me. And that means I can't really watch
Yeah.
TV in bed. So I have to, pull
you're
like
hosed there.
I do the headphones with the phone if I desperately need to see something.
I don't mind the price of these new mattresses because, to me, you shouldn't go half-ass on it.
I
Like,
fully agree.
we waste how many hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars on other things over a 10-year period that you don't spend 1/3 of your day in. So
Right.
to me, it's like that's where you need to put the money. But I'm with you on the whole, like, well, if we're spending a few grand, should we upgrade and get the next one? It's like, well, that's
you
a
can
slippery
sit you
slope.
up and you can work while you're sitting in bed and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like,
To me, it's like, don't skimp on your bidet and don't skimp on your mattress.
There you go.
yeah,
I'm spending most of my time either sitting on the toilet or laying in bed.
right.
Outside of that, the house you're kind of just moving around through.
Let me know how your purple goes, man, because I've seen that one, and I mean, but so
I would
many of them are
recommend
getting
laying
good
on it.
reviews. They're all getting good reviews,
But I
though.
don't know if anybody has the thing that Purple has, do they? With the whole
I
don't
was
think so.
unfamiliar with this whole purple mattress till you said it. I had never heard of some weird.
I'd seen their marketing
technology.
thing pop up on Facebook years ago.
Imagine a super squishy mattress that isn't technically a soft mattress. It's really
It's
hard
weird,
to explain.
yeah.
It's like the top of it, it's like you're laying on like 4 down comforters, but there's still support.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
Support for me is key. I like a
Yeah.
firm
Yeah.
mattress. So.
I'm with you.
We went in the store to buy a firm mattress, laid on the squishiest purple, and wanted it.
Really?
Yes.
So,
And haven't
they're-
pulled the
what is there
trigger.
firm
Not
like
yet.
bricks?
What's that?
Is there firm like bricks? I mean, how is it that?
There's
No.
different levels, is
Yeah.
what he's saying. And they happen
Basically,
to
they
try
have
to
the top
squish it.
layer. They have a 4-inch, a 3-inch, and a 2-inch. 4-3-2. That's the different firmness.
But at that point, you're like, I'm all good with more squish because
Yes,
the firm
'cause it
is so
feels
good
comfy.
underneath it.
Yeah, and the price is accordingly. In other words,
Of
The
course.
squishier.
well, that
the,
doesn't make sense because you go buy a mattress.
Yeah, but if the
It's-
product they're making is getting better and better and they know it, like you can add squish and
But
not
what I'm
ruin
saying
firm.
is the regular mattresses cost the same whether it's firm or squishy.
Oh, I thought the price was going up accordingly. So okay, interesting.
No, what I'm saying
Oh, in
is
a regular
in
mattress.
a regular
yes.
mattress, that's what's different.
yeah.
It's like in a regular mattress, if you buy a squishy or you buy a firm, they're around the same price.
Sure.
This one, the squishier it gets, the more expensive it is.
Because it's more material.
Yes.
That's what I would assume.
Yeah, yeah.
And they know they got a better product because if you went in there thinking firm and came out squishy, they know that is they've got a sweet
that's-
spot. Because would it be someone who likes like my wife does not like a firm mattress,
But they're not
she'd
just
be happy.
They're not just selling. They're not just giving people without like firm mattresses deals.
No, I just
No.
think
You know
it's
what I
all
mean?
product. Like, I have to take 1 inch. If I have to make a 2-inch, then that's 50% more, 100% more product. So, therefore, there's going to be a cost that's going to go up with that. Like a firm mattress, a firm standard mattress, and a softer mattress might still cost the same amount and use the same amount of materials, just built slightly different. I don't think there might be a cost analysis differential between those two.
Yeah.
But if you have this magic foam thing that they make the purple out of, which is it's literally purple and weird honeycomb looking,
Right.
and an inch costs X amount of dollars, so 2 inches cost 2X. There's going to be a cost increase there, I would think, just for the product.
I mean, it makes sense. Material.
Yeah, the material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's how they validate it. Maybe it only costs them $5 extra, but that could be their argument. I don't know.
I don't either. I know that we've been looking at mattresses too, though, and they're
Oh, really?
expensive.
You guys are you?
My wife, I got like restless legs or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I'm laying there, I'm constantly kicking. I don't know.
You got to get one of those weighted blankets like I have.
I hear those are amazing.
I love mine.
Really?
Yeah.
When that'll keep me from
Did
kicking
we
around.
talk about it?
No.
Yeah, I got one for
Or at
Christmas.
least not with me here.
Yeah, I got one for Christmas, and it was 25 pounds.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's heavy.
Yeah.
And I
That'll
slept
keep
with
me
it.
from kicking around.
Yeah,
You think?
yeah.
Huh.
So I was sleeping with it for a while, and it was a little too much. They make them in like 10, 15, 20, 25. My wife got the heaviest. And so
What is the theory? Like, what does it do?
it just the weight of it literally just secures you and makes you just
Not toss
Not
and turn.
toss and
is the
turn.
point?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
so it's
I might have to
it's-
try that because
Yeah.
that's my wife's biggest complaint. Well, that and I'm a slob.
Yeah.
Those are the two things that seem to come up all the time.
So it's actually big enough, and it's not hot. It doesn't get very hot. I mean, it's a blanket, so it does, do some blanketing, but it's
Yeah.
got like glass beads in it.
Yeah.
And
What?
And we've spread it across both sides of the bed, so she sleeps under it now too, and she loves it, even at 25 pounds. But like, I would recommend getting a 15 or 20
You think
pound.
I just get like a little weighted
'Cause-
blanket for like my lower half?
It's hard. It is if you turn, and I sleep on both sides. It's hard to turn over underneath that
But
thing.
do you find that it's keeping you from turning, or that you're just having to wrestle it more?
I think it keeps me from flip flopping as
Really?
much. Yeah.
I mean, if my legs are just kicking randomly, that might be critical for
Yeah.
me. Huh.
My wife bought her father one for his birthday recently, and he likes it too.
Really?
Yeah, they're not cheap.
No.
Yeah, they're like $100 and some bucks.
There's my boy.
That
We were
kills
just
me.
talking about it
Yeah, there's my
last
boy.
week.
the RoboCop KFC.
On the TV behind us.
Oh yeah.
He is here. Makes me happy. I'm excited.
That's hilarious.
That was your first time seeing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, pretty
So
sweet.
anyway, you've been out of town,
Dude, I've been out of town
and you will continue to be
all
out
week.
of town.
I'm going to be out of town. I'm actually excited because I'm going to San Diego. So that should be cool.
Oh, Santiago,
Wales
which of
vagina.
course in German.
Everybody knows that.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Going to get
Did
to.
you hear about his new podcast?
Will Ferrell has.
Oh
a
yeah, he
podcast?
does the Ron Burgundy
Burgundy.
podcast.
Oh no,
Podcast, Yeah.
is it hilarious?
I haven't
Farrell
checked
is
it out.
Ron Burgundy. I listened to like 5 minutes of it. But I didn't turn it off because it was bad. I just didn't have to stop or something.
Yeah,
Dude, have y'all ever been to Memphis?
I have not.
This past week, I got to go to Memphis for a few days. That is a very interesting town.
Yeah.
Like it is caught in the past in a lot of respects. Like there is,
I've heard that.
it's got it. It looks probably a lot like it did in the '60s in a lot of places. But
It's poor, right? It's pretty poor.
I mean, it's definitely got some money. There is a
Well-
ton of like corporate places moving in.
Mm-hmm.
Like FedEx has a corporate office there. Like I saw, they were all kind. AutoZone has a corporate office there. Like there's all kinds of these companies that are headquartered there that I was seeing. So there's certainly money floating around, but it's directly across the Mississippi from Arkansas, and like not Little Rock,
Yeah.
like
The sticks, Arkansas.
Yeah, you know. So like you cross over the bridge, and you're like, all right, it's gonna be like this for the next hour.
My dad just moved down to Arkansas and said it's like going back in time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of the vibe you get in Memphis,
Right.
and they have a street there called Beale Street.
I've heard of Beale Street.
Yeah.
Now, Beale Street is just
I
like
think we all have.
it's just like Broadway in Nashville, but Broadway's been getting like gentrified, you know, and it's like a lot of like high end stuff
Yeah.
going on, and all the country music artists are coming in, opening clubs and all kinds of stuff. Great food scene, you know, it's got all that. Beale Street is like it's all that without any of the gentrification that occurred, without any of the high end places. It is still
50 years
old
ago.
school blues music playing.
Like Mardi Gras.
It actually had places that looked just like there's that place Patty O'Brien's or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they had one of those there. There were a couple times where I was walking along and it felt just like Bourbon Street,
Huh.
but it's seedier.
Really?
Like, which is odd because Bourbon Street's extremely seedy,
Yeah.
but it's also been commercialized.
Yes.
This is not commercialized.
Yeah.
This is like you could get mugged here, and that kind of feels real. It's kind of a good feeling in a
Yep.
weird way.
That does sound weird.
It was crazy. Like we walked in this one place, and I opened up the doors, and as soon as I walked in, like that stink of like a shithole bar hit me.
Yeah.
And I was like-
that's a special kind of
That
funk.
special
Yeah.
funk, you know? And I was like, we should stick around for a little bit. 'Cause they were like the blues band's going on in a minute.
Yeah.
And I look up and it's just guitars hanging from the rafters. Hundreds and hundreds of guitars.
Wow.
And they're all autographed and they have like the name of the person who signed it. And it's every who's who artist you've ever heard of. And I was
Whoa.
like, they all come in this shithole and play because this place still has the real grit and grime.
It's been around for 100 years.
And it still got it. And this blues band came out. Like we went over, we had a beer. All of a sudden, you just start hearing the harmonica in the distance. I was like, "Whoa, that sounds good. We should go check that out." This is like the best blues band I've ever seen. They
Huh.
just came in there and just put it down. on us.
Nice.
Like we were gonna leave, and like
You mind if we dance with your dates?
that was definitely it. He was like, how? And I was like, this is awesome. Like that guy did work, and there was just.
And it's just a Tuesday night for him, probably. He's probably there every week.
It's quite literally a Tuesday night. But it was really pretty awesome, man. Like I was blown away. But Beale Street's the kind of place where you wouldn't want to take like your wife. You would take her to Broadway in Nashville and have a blast, and you would probably just want to like take your boys to Beale Street.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Safety in numbers.
just the kind of place you could have a good time, but you could get in a fight too.
Right.
So it had a lot of that left to it. I thought it was great. And the barbecue, as you can imagine,
Was awesome.
fucking, yeah, amazing. But every
Sure.
place you walked into was still just old school.
Speaking of barbecue, what's your favorite style?
I have turned the corner on barbecue, and I no longer go pulled pork anywhere.
Yeah, I don't either.
I do some kind of
Brisket. Yeah.
Ribs.
Burnt ends, something else that's on the menu. I have never been a big pulled pork.
I used to love pulled pork and vinegar, but now I've tried all the others, and I'm like, I love them all equally.
Yeah.
I like
pulled
all
pork
the
to me
flavors.
is like, I won't say it's played out, but it's like, it's played out. It's like Leonard's.
Do you ever make?
It's like Sweet Home Alabama. It's like,
Yeah.
holy
Yeah,
fuck.
that's fair.
I heard that before.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is really good.
Every
but
fucking golf tournament you go to has it. Every
Yeah.
fucking place you go has pulled pork. And
have you
it's
ever
like,
made your own though? Like,
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, I love it when I make it myself.
Yes.
And then I think I'm like, this is heaven.
Well, it's awesome
Right.
too when you have it fresh off a pig.
For sure.
You've cooked all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Another thing
amazing.
is for the majority of my life, I never ate it with coleslaw. I was fucking up.
You got to eat it with
You have
coleslaw.
to.
See, I hate coleslaw, so I don't eat
But
coleslaw.
you got to treat it as a condiment, not a side.
Right. Yes.
That
I'll
changes
have to try
everything.
it like that.
Yeah. It
Slap
does.
it on
changes
the pulled
everything.
pork,
Uh-huh.
then put it in the bun. Psh, amazing.
Game changing.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I've started to come around on mustard-based barbecues. What's that?
Yes.
South Carolina, I guess.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
I like that now, and I
Really?
used to hate mustard.
Yeah.
And like now I'm liking that. That seems to be the one that I'm
I
eating
like them
now.
all. Like,
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, it's-
like I'll go look at the barbecue sauce aisle for an hour and be like, yeah, I want the Texas. Yeah, I want the Memphis. Yeah, I want the sweet heat. I want the mustard, the vinegar. I'll eat it all. Like
Right.
I love sauces.
In Memphis, it's like sauceless. Everything is dry rubs, and then you
rub.
put your own sauce on. it,
yeah.
I like that.
which was nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's
was
right
a
up my
nice
alley.
nice change of pace because like
I
you order
like all
the
those
ribs.
dry rubs. I like
know.
them all
Me
too.
too.
Like,
I went to Mission Barbecue the other day. Those are
Yes.
blowing up and down the East Coast right now.
yeah.
They have an Old Bay barbecue sauce.
Yes.
Really?
Really good.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the barbecue in Memphis is not like that though.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
dry rubs, and then if you want sauce, put it on there.
Yeah.
And that's I guess they're known for ribs there. Like that's their
Yeah.
God, I love ribs.
that's their thing. And I guess that's the pulled pork and the ribs. That's what they do. But I happened to go in some place. I ate at a handful of barbecue places, but one of them I went into, and the guy was actually like, "Nope, get the brisket." And I'd just been getting lectured by my boy from Memphis, like, "Don't order brisket. That's a Texas thing." And I was like, "What would you get outside of the ribs here?" And he's like, "The brisket." Like didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, he didn't even pause."
Right.
Like I'm getting the brisket, and it was phenomenal.
Really?
Really good stuff. The coleslaw they had there was yellow.
Huh.
It was like it had like vinegar and mustard in it. It was spicy, and it had little chunks of pineapple. I was like, "What is going
What?
on in this
That
place?"
sounds amazing.
It really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, this place called Rendezvous Barbecue.
Interesting.
The weirdest thing I came
Did you
across.
meet up with
though,
anybody there?
Just the people I was working
There
with,
you go.
man.
So it worked.
Yeah, it was awesome. But the one thing that I found the weirdest, I stayed in some place called the Peabody Hotel. Apparently, it's famous, probably more famous in Memphis than anywhere else in the world. But I go in this Peabody
It sounds
Hotel.
vaguely familiar, but I mean, I'm not that traveled, so I don't
Been
know.
there forever, like
Yeah.
dawn of time. I walk in there and I'm standing at I check in, I'm turning around and walking, and I'm walking past this big fountain that's in the middle of it. It's like whack, whack. I look down, there's fucking ducks
Nice.
swimming around
Inside?
in the fountain.
That's awesome.
So I guess the story goes that long ago, some wealthy person in the Memphis area had been out drinking all day and duck hunting. And back in the day, you could have like real duck decoys,
Right.
Like where the duck can't fly, but you just throw them in the water, and then the damn ducks will come down and be like, "Hey, there's ducks here."
Like domesticated duck, you've like clipped their wings or something?
You just clip their wings, and you take the ducks and you just put them out in the
Yeah.
water, and it attracts the other ducks, and then you shoot them, and then
Better not shoot your own ducks.
Exactly.
well, it's easy. Your ducks are the ones that aren't flying.
Well, yeah, you're
You're
not.
swimming around in circles.
Well, you're not supposed to shoot them on the water, but
yeah.
if you've ever been duck hunting, you know.
So
how it
apparently
works.
these guys came back and they were all fucked up and thought it would be a good joke, like the late 1800s,
to throw them in the
throw the
fountain.
ducks in the damn fountain. So they
That duck is old as shit.
threw these
Oh,
ducks. in the-
Mikey's been here for 120 years.
yeah.
It's a hell of a duck, world record holder. But so then they like went upstairs and passed out, and they came down the next morning expecting to hear stories of everybody chasing ducks around, and the ducks were still just swimming in the damn fountain. And all the people were sitting around like hanging out watching the ducks. And when they were like, all right, we'll take the ducks, everyone was like, no, don't take the ducks. We like them here.
Yeah.
Really?
So they kept the ducks there. So then some guy came in and was like, you should do this all the time. I'll train the ducks that every time you play John Philip Sousa, you play the march, that the ducks will then come out and walk across.
Am I supposed to know that song?
John Philip Sousa? It's
Yeah.
just there's a march. I can't remember what it's the official name, but yeah, it's
Okay.
you should know. If you heard it, you'd be like,
right.
I know this song.
Yeah.
And he was like, what if I train them and then like I'll keep them and bring them back every day? And the owner was like, if you can really do it, people seem to like it, knock yourself out.
You know how many duck trainers have come through here and rope-a-dope me with that
Same
shit
line.
before?
Yeah.
This snake oil salesman yet again.
Right.
So this guy actually trained the ducks to do this, and it just became a thing where he would keep them upstairs. So what they do,
The Stars and Stripes Forever? Is that
How
what
big
There
is
it
this
is.
fountain?
I'll show you a picture, but it's probably, maybe 1.5 of the bar. So
Oh, wow.
We'll call it 12 feet around, like diameter, around. And it's got like
so not too big.
What the fuck are you talking about? 1.5 of this bar.
the bar's
the
8
bar. Okay. I
Yeah.
gotcha.
foot. Yeah.
I was thinking of the room. I was like, what?
Yeah.
12 feet?
Yes, your
Yeah.
math is way off.
Yeah.
But so every day at 11 o'clock, they come downstairs. They roll out a red damn carpet. They keep these things upstairs in like a penthouse, and they have a duck trainer who's on staff at all times. They've only had 3 of them, so I guess it's a pretty prestigious job, and people hold on to it for a long ass time. And
Marches these ducks
You
down
stood
the
there
hall?
and watched this shit?
I didn't know this was even happening.
I would
but
have to
yes.
watch it if
Yeah,
I knew about it.
I would too.
Yeah.
So at 11 o'clock in the morning, they roll out a red carpet from one of the elevators to the damn fountain.
What?
They play the damn song. Son of a bitch's ducks come walking out of the elevator.
Think we can
They-
play a song on here?
They walk. I don't know.
Can you hit lobby for me?
They whack, 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 whack. These things go walking across the red carpet, go up a little set of stairs, jump in the fountain, and swim around until 5 o'clock. At which time, some guy comes out in his freaking like tux. He's the duck master.
Do you see the duck doing like the Bugs Bunny with the sheepdog checking in?
Yeah.
Like 5 o'clock,
Punching his
quitting
clock.
time.
checking in?
Get back to the penthouse.
So no joke, this guy goes over and he rolls out a red carpet, puts the set of stairs down. He does a little talk. Boom. Stars and Stripes Forever starts playing. The ducks come swimming around. Whack. Jump up. Walk down. Walk across the red
How
carpet.
many ducks?
Get 5.
Are
That-
they very robotic? Like they're just trained
No,
animals?
man,
Or are
there's-
they like loving the water?
No, they're just chilling. Like honestly.
Oh, they're highly trained.
Yeah.
But when I first heard it, I was like, whack. I was like, what the hell was this? I turned around. I was like, there's ducks in their fountain. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, I swear I saw something on like Travel Channel a long time ago about this crazy asinine duck march thing. I was like, could
Right.
this be? I get in my room. They got ducks on all the walls.
Of
My
course
soap
they
is in
do.
the shape of ducks. I was like,
Yes.
this has got to be the damn place.
Right.
So like I looked it up. Sure enough, it was the March of the Ducks. And then my boy calls me. He's like, hey, meet me downstairs at 4:30. We watch the ducks. I was like, so this is really happening.
Whoa.
So we went downstairs, and it
Your
turned
kid's
in.
head would explode, right? If we took our
Yes.
kids to see that, would they not think that was the coolest thing ever?
Yes.
They'd be like, fuck Disney World.
Right.
Like, that shit was amazing.
It was great. It's like a whole little economy breaks out around these ducks.
I believe it.
Because by about 4 o'clock, the lobby's filling up with people coming in
People
from all
selling
over.
shit.
They've got like the waitresses show up, and they just start coming around like, "Can I get you a drink? Can I get you a drink?"
What?
So for an hour, they have this like happy hour
hour.
that is blowing up.
Dude, that's crazy.
And so I got to watch
That's
these damn
amazing.
ducks. Sure enough, they played the song. They waddled over down the red carpet, went upstairs, and I was like, dude, that was brilliant. I was like, that was one of the more amazing things I'd ever
Wow.
seen. So
How much? I mean, that's got to bring in a ton of money. A ton of people want to come visit that
How much do the
place.
ducks make? Is that what you're going to say?
I was going there. I hope it's $15 an hour
Yeah.
at the least.
well, apparently the dude who's the duck trainer,
He's probably making
he does
coin.
get paid. Because he's got to get them up there, take care of the ducks, keep them trained, keep them
Wipe
happy.
their asses.
And I was shocked that there wasn't like duck crap all up in the fountain. But
would you sell
filter the
tons of
shit out?
DuckTales memorabilia in there? I feel
Right?
like you should,
Daffy
right?
Duck, get him in.
they
on
had
Donald Duck.
everything.
Did they?
Yeah, because it's like an old Memphis Southern place. I mean, the duck suspenders, duck canes,
Yeah.
They
duck
probably
everything.
had all that anyway.
Then they had a place called the Lansky Brothers that I guess was the first tailor for Elvis. And so
Cool.
you've got all these. It's like this weird dichotomy between one shop that's all Elvis shirts and the other shop's all duck memorabilia.
like old South type, like
Yeah,
duck hunting, like
anything like a low end Orvis.
yeah,
You know, it was crazy. But so I got to watch
that's
Ducks.
really cool.
march in and out, and all the kids were showing
Interesting.
up. Yeah, it was.
You didn't video it, did you?
I did. I got video.
Oh,
for
nice.
You. I got video.
Did you
You'll
show
get
the
to-
kids?
I did. They were like, "What is this?" I was like, "This is the hotel I was in. That apparently has ducks."
You know
in
what?
it."
I'm surprised, honestly, because I'm surprised the government hasn't shut it down for some health reason, some
Right,
bullshit
yeah.
like we can't have live animals in here where they're serving drinks and
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. Like,
Exactly.
go fuck yourself.
Grandfathered in from the 1890s, I guess. It's-
That's
We should all be grandfathered in from the 1770s.
it was pretty impressive. I think.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, so I would recommend if you go to Memphis, stay in the Peabody.
I'm surprised. Like,
Best Western doesn't have ducks.
man, I'm not that travel, but I'm surprised. Like, I haven't heard or I've never heard of that. Like,
No.
why wouldn't that be on some travel channel thing? Like,
I had seen it on like some
have? See,
weird,
I've
like
never
most
seen it.
extravagant hotels or something.
I mean, was the hotel itself like extravagant over the top?
It felt like any 1800s
Renaissance-y,
high end
yeah.
hotel. Like you walked in and everything was marble and everything was
Right.
was big, and I was just like, wow, this is. I was impressed just when I got there because my boy said, oh yeah, you got to stay at the Peabody. It's a truly Memphis experience.
How much was
So-
it a night, remember?
Like $159.
Okay.
Was
Not
this,
horrible.
Was this work?
No.
Yeah, it's for work.
I mean, 159 is. I mean, that'll barely get you a hojo in some places. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, no, it was fine with me.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe that I was able to, because usually like when I have to book things through work, it's like, here's the places
There's
you
a
can
cap,
stay.
yeah.
And they want you to stay like you're staying at Hilton's.
Yeah.
Something like that. And for some reason, this one was like totally acceptable hotel. It was like, oh,
Get your Peabody on.
don't mind
Yeah.
if I do. And the Peabody itself had like 7 different restaurants in it. I guess at one time they built a
Wow.
mall like to expand on the Peabody. And then the mall failed. So they just
So
like
there's restaurant
it's
it
just
out.
restaurants.
Trying to make it Gaylordy.
They kind of did have like that Gaylord feel. Yeah, it was wild. But I would highly recommend
Is that
that.
the place up in Maryland you're talking about?
The Gaylord has like 3 or
Yeah.
4 hotels.
There's one in Tennessee.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
But not where I was.
No.
Because just outside of that, I was 3 blocks away from like Stabby Blues.
Yeah.
It was
That city's pretty rough, from what I understand.
It honestly was. I actually ran into a buddy of mine on a plane on the way there randomly, who's a cop down in Atlanta. And,
Oh, yeah?
And I'm talking to
Is
him.
that the guy I know?
Yeah.
You bumped into him randomly.
Yep. This
Really?
whole family. They were flying back from Florida. They
When was
just-
this?
On Tuesday morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I'm talking to him, and he's like, so where are you going? I was like, Memphis. And, of course, his cop mentality kicked in right away, and he's like, ooh, crime rate there is ridiculous.
Really?
Said the guy in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that shows you something.
Watch your 6. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I had a feeling
How's he
about
doing?
that. Doing very well.
Yeah, I mean, did you have much time to chat, or?
Yeah, a little bit. We chatted
Okay.
it up.
That's
We
cool.
chatted it up. Yeah, it's cool. It's good to see him. Sorry. Old fraternity brother of mine. Pledge brother of
He's
mine.
my roommate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a good dude. But so got to see him, yeah, and the first thing went through his head, boy, I don't know that you want to go there.
Right.
He's like, that is a shady town. And I certainly got
Ew.
that vibe. It's caught in the past in a weird way. There's that motel where MLK was shot, you know?
Uh-huh.
And it still looks exactly like it did.
Really?
Yeah, it's probably historic. You probably can't.
Well, so what they did is they actually turned it into a civil rights museum, but they still left it. So the Lorraine Motel, same marquee outside, same balcony. Like when you see it, you can immediately just picture all those images in your mind of,
Yeah.
of
Right.
everybody standing outside pointing, like, you know,
Yep.
that guy did it.
Yeah.
You know, that's insane. But
What was that, James Earl Ray?
I think so.
That
Yeah.
sounds right.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's like they say that Memphis kind of stopped. Like it was on
Really?
this trajectory, and then that happened, and it created, a horrible civil rights clash that kind of was centered around Memphis at that point.
Right.
And it kind of stalled it out. But now it's been a little while, and you still have that old feel, and that's actually becoming kind of charming. Not obviously the civil rights portion
Yeah,
of it.
James Earl Ray.
But the fact that it looks old and feels old, it's real. It's real,
Right.
and that was kind of cool. Like I
yeah.
actually like Memphis quite a bit,
Huh.
and it took me a little bit to figure out if I liked it or not. And I'm like, yeah, I really like it here. It's kind of cool. So, unfortunately, from there though, I ended up having to go to Chicago because a friend of ours passed away last week, and so I ended up just switching flights. Like, just didn't get on my plane home.
Yeah.
And got another flight and flew to Chicago for a funeral, and so went there, and Chicago is always a crazy time, especially this time of year because it's just frozen solid.
Yeah.
Like everything was frozen, but was able to do the funeral and all of that, and that was tough, but it was kind of good, see some people and spend some time. But Chicago itself was just so cold this time of year. I had forgotten like how truly cold it is in the winter. I mean, it was.
I would assume that wind just cuts through everything.
It does. But I got to go by Wrigley, and I haven't been to Wrigley since the World Series. It looks totally different.
Really?
Like they've completely
renovated?
They've renovated like the whole neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
Like they're putting in condos everywhere.
We're
and
finally
like,
winners.
yeah, exactly. Retail shops underneath everything.
nice.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because you're flying in.
People are finally coming, y'all.
Yep.
Yeah, get it together.
Yeah.
You gotta get that money. But the food was still the same. Just far too fattening. As soon as I got there, I went and saw my buddy's brother, and we're all trying to diet, right? We're all trying to do this low carb thing, and I'm like, hey, you want to grab lunch with my other buddy and him? And he's like, yeah, let's go to Luminaldi's. And I'm like, oh, it's my favorite Chicago pizza place. I was like, damn it.
Not Sbarro.
No, not Sbarro.
Huh.
And I'm sitting there trying to figure out what I'm ordering. I'm like looking at all the salads, and then his brother's like, yeah, I guess at a time like this, diets are out the window. I'm not eating healthy today.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I can't order a salad after
Yeah,
someone
he-
says
he's laid
something
the
like
gauntlet
that.
on
He
you.
did.
Like-
And then he ordered a pizza. Then my boy ordered a pizza.
But
and
the
I'm
thing
like,
is, I'm always in my brain looking for someone to
You're
make
looking
that
for
leap.
that out,
I'm
right?
like, yeah. Oh, we're doing this?
yeah. I immediately was like, oh yeah, then I'll take the sausage pizza.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was
didn't
doing
do-
the right thing.
Right. You didn't do the sausage crust pizza you said they make?
No, but that one is awesome.
Really?
Yeah, I think I've told you about this.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
take that ball of sausage, just mash it down, make a crust out of it.
Yep.
Oh my god! But so at that point, I was like, I'm off the wagon.
For sure.
Like, forget this. I'm gonna do Chicago.
How long did you get back on till you got back on?
today?
Yeah.
I
Quite
can't
literally.
imagine trying to follow any diet when you're traveling that much and going to all those different
Oh,
cities. I
hell
mean,
no.
the
I
beer
pulled it
would
off
be
in Memphis.
flowing.
Well, yeah, there was beer, but barbecue's easy.
Yeah.
Yo, it
You
is.
just give me barbecue.
Until they
Yeah.
got good mashed potatoes or macaroni and cheese.
Oh,
Until they got all
sons of
those
bitches.
those sauces that are
Yeah.
full of sugar.
Exactly.
It will get you. But then coming back out of Chicago, we'd had a long night, and we're heading out, and we get to the airport, and we get there a little bit early, and I guess I'd gotten glasses not long ago, and I put them in the little bin as I'm going through security, and I heard something, like I heard it happen, whatever it was. I heard like something fall,
Crunch. Oh,
and I was like, I didn't think too much of it and kept walking.
yeah.
Came out the other side, and my glasses weren't in the bin, but that didn't register to me.
Yeah.
I was like, wallet, perfect. Phone, perfect. Got all the important stuff in, and then took off and went and had a beer because we had a little bit of time. So
Yeah.
the three of us are sitting there, and I'm with the plumber, and every time the plumber comes up, the stories get good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
typically how life works around the plumber.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there and we're drinking a couple beers, and then we're like, all right, chug your beers, we got to go. And then we run out, and they're like, your plane's on fire, basically. And they're like, it's not taking off anytime soon. We're like, son of a bitch.
Nice.
So the plumber's like,
Thank God you found that
More
before
beer.
we took off.
Yeah.
yeah. And he's like, I've got an idea. Let's go have more beer.
Yeah.
So then
That doesn't sound like him at all.
This is when?
This is trying to get out of there Friday morning.
Oh,
like
okay.
we're taking off, and he's like, "Let's have more beer." So we're starting to drink more beer, and then I'm like, "All right, look, they just changed the gate. Like they're getting a whole new plane. Let's go over there." And I guess when we got there, there's like a bar right next to the new gate that we happen to be at, and it's like you could get like to-go cups and sit there. And it was right about that time I was like, "Oh shit, my glasses!
Yeah.
Like, I can't find them." I felt like Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Like nothing brings retribution like a pair of busted glasses. You know, I was like, "Oh shit!" And my boy is like, "I think you got just enough time to get back there." And I was like, "You know that we've changed multiple gates and walked through multiple terminals,
Right.
Yeah.
and they're like getting ready to call it." And he's like, "You just got to go, man. Glasses are expensive."
You remembered that the last time you saw him was at that security
Definitely.
check.
Like as we were sitting there and I was going through it, I was like, "Oh my God, I heard something." I was wearing glasses before security and I wasn't wearing them after. So that's where it went down. So he's like, "Make a break for it."
What are you thinking has happened? Because you thought you put him in the
I think
bin.
they just fell out of the
Okay,
bin
they
because
just-
I remember when I put them in, they were kind of precariously, sitting on top of
other
the stuff. Yeah. So I was like, "Shit." So I go hauling ass through
How
the
much
terminal.
are we talking about here?
After insurance, $600.
Whoa. What the hell kind of glasses are those?
After insurance.
So like, they were $800. Insurance picked up $200 of it.
Okay.
Which leads me
Is
to
that what-
believe
is
that
that what
my
glasses
insurance
cost?
sucks.
I don't know.
Apparently, well, I had gotten I had trifocals apparently.
Yeah.
Like so, wherever I look helps me see different things for like reading or mid or long
How did
range.
you wear those all through the airport, get to security, and then not realize you didn't need them immediately?
Now I'm blind.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Turn and
You're
walk
like-
into the wall and be like, I'm good, though, because
What am I missing?
Yeah.
I think because the majority of my life I've needed them and I've just gone through it.
just
so like,
adapted.
shit's kind of blurry in my world. And then
Yeah, but after you wear them, aren't you like, I can't go without now?
you would think, but I take them off all the time and just kind of go
So
about my
you don't
life.
have contacts.
No.
Okay, so if you're not wearing glasses, you can't see that well.
I see you fine because you're 3 feet in front of me.
Yeah.
So like this is fine, but you get me tired. I can't see shit. Like,
Uh-huh.
my eyes go to crap, and it hit me at that moment because I was a little bit tired.
Yeah.
And I was kind of looking around and I was like, man, shit is blurry. So I was like, oh man, that's right. I don't have my glasses. So I did what I think is like world record speed through that airport because I'm like, I'm going for it, and I'm racing. I get to one terminal. I was like, is this TSA pre? They're like, yeah, this is, but there's another one down there. And I was like, yeah, I don't think this is where I came from. Hauled ass to the other side of damn O'Hare Airport. I get
Which
there.
is a huge airport.
Huge airport. And I'm talking to the guy who I know got me through. I was like, yes, I'm in the right place. He's like, go behind the barrier, talk to Lost and Found. I'm like, all right, that seems sketchy. This could screw me up.
Yeah, you might not
But-
get back through.
Yeah,
or
I might have
something.
to go back through. But I go over there and I'm talking to the lady and she's like, let me go check. And she pulls it out and I get a call. And they're like, they're loading military personnel now. So like that's always the first thing
First,
you get
yeah.
called. And I'm like, oh God, I'm so far away. And I was like, I'm gonna miss my flight because they're trying to get out. We're already delayed like an hour and a
Yeah.
half. They're gonna get everyone on,
Expedite
it.
close
Yeah.
this thing, and get out. And I'm like,
Make up time.
oh crap. I look through the bin. I'm like, it's not here. She's like, do you want to fill out a form? I was like, I can't. I got to go. I start running and I'm giving it everything I got. I got a scarf on and shit. Like I'm sweating like a pig. It was unbelievable. And I'm hauling. I almost crushed this one dude. I pulled what's the Zion Williamson. I pulled one of those. I hit the brakes. My shoe buckled. I was like, skid him. Like came right up into this dude's face. Like he looks at me. I made a move. I'm running. And the whole time my boy's texting me, zone 4,
Oh, shit.
zone 5.
Oh.
And he's like, final boarding. And I'm like still a
Nowhere
terminal
near.
away.
Yeah.
And I'm giving it everything I've got. Like I am hauling ass.
But I will tell you, in that situation, you want the plumber with a couple of brewskis
Yeah.
in him. 'Cause
It's
he'll
so-
make
Yeah.
he'll move mountains. At
I
that
see
point.
him hanging
It is
halfway
so
out the...
funny that you say that.
Really?
Because the plumber, I don't know that he's helping me out,
No?
but he is certainly helping my cause.
Yeah.
Because when I come around that corner and look down, The plumber is standing there with a full beer.
Yeah.
No one else
Whoa.
is there.
Right.
Like, everyone's gone. The plumber is standing there with the beer with my luggage next to him. So he probably was thinking about me on some level.
Yeah.
And he's arguing with the gate attendant.
Really?
He's like, I'm just finishing my beer.
Yeah.
And the guy's like,
totally stalling.
yeah. And he's like, you can't come on the plane with that, sir. And he's like, I'm not trying to come on the plane with that, sir.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And he's just drinking his beer. And the guy's like, you're really holding us up. You're starting to create a problem. And he's just kind of
Like
looks
there's
down.
people behind him.
No,
trying
there's
to get on?
no. Everybody's on the
Yeah,
plane.
yeah.
The plumber's the only guy not on the plane, and myself.
And you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just standing there 3 feet from my luggage, just drinking his beer, calmly arguing with the guy.
Whoa.
The guy's like, you are causing a problem. You are holding up the plane. This is about to be a
Why wouldn't he
concern.
just close
I'm
the door?
surprised to hear this, but then after the surprise hits me, I realize it's the plumber. I'm like, now I'm not
Yeah, yeah.
surprised. This totally makes sense.
It's the greatest thing in
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, this is a problem, sir. Like, we need to go. And he sees me come tearing around the corner, and then he's like, this guy's making me finish my beer. And I was like, thank you, plumber. Grab my stuff, and I'm like, scan, walk in.
Yeah.
And then he just chugs his beer calmly behind me, dumps it in, and he's like, right, we're good.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my gosh.
And he walks on the
So
plane.
you get on the plane, everybody else is seated.
Everyone else seated. I sit down next to this lady. I'm huffing and puffing. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like sweaty. And he walks by and he's like, you don't smell better. And the lady next to me is like, what? Do you smell? And then he's just off giggling down the aisle. And I was
great.
like, son of a bitch. So now I'm explaining to her. I was like, well, I kind of lost my glasses. I've been running through. So he's just making fun of me because I smell. I know that guy.
Yeah.
And she's
No
like,
glasses though, huh?
no glasses.
Oh.
Didn't get them. But if it wasn't for him deciding I'm going to drink this beer and just wait because I got nothing better to do,
You would have been.
I wouldn't have made that flight.
Yeah.
So shout out to the plumber.
Well,
Not all heroes wear capes.
That's right. Some
Some
of
of
them,
them drink beer real slow.
slowly drink
Yeah.
beer and stare the gate guy in the eye
Right.
with that steely-eyed
Which
stare.
takes a set of huevos in today's world
For
to
sure.
give any TSA people any back talk.
He doesn't care because honestly, best case scenario for him
He gets stuck there.
The
would have
late.
been that they
Yeah.
shut the gate
Yeah.
and they move on, and he turns to me and goes,
you need to drink more.
"We're stuck."
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
it's on.
Go back and look for your
In
glasses
fact,
again.
a part of him was bummed that they got on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when he saw me come around the corner, I'm sure that on one side of him, he was like, fuck.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
other side, he was like, good
Okay.
work, buddy. Way to
Right.
run. Way to run. But
That's awesome.
he
Guess we're
held the
going
whole
home
thing
today.
up.
Yeah.
It was great, man. I was
Guess
was
we're
happy for
drinking
him.
here all night.
Right.
Yep. And then we landed and started right back at it. As soon as I look back, like I look back at him, he's been in his seat 5 seconds
Has a beer.
before he's turning to the woman next to him. He's like, yeah, I do plumbing and HVAC. What about yourself?
That's awesome.
He never stopped talking to her the entire way and kept ordering beers on the flight.
Oh.
He never stopped. We landed and he was like, I don't have a ride. Someone give me a ride. And we were off to yet another wake.
Yeah.
Like it was unbelievable.
I don't know anyone that can maintain like that, dude. I seriously do not.
No.
It amazes me. As someone who's been drinking as long and much as I have, I would never try to hang with that dude. Never in a million years.
It's like he just doesn't need any breaks.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's
And he
it's
doesn't even
unlike-
eat much.
No,
That's what's even more weird.
he doesn't weigh anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he just crushes beers.
As far as I'm concerned, he's a hero.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt with
Full on
that.
hero. Yeah, so it's been a long travel week. But yes, Troy, you know exactly where I was going with that. I was getting ready to grab myself a deli. Yeah, why don't you just hand it to Ely? This was a special treat for you because it's
What is happening right now? What is that?
what is it?
Nice. Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. Sour blonde ale.
Ooh,
Really?
sour blonde. I
That
was thinking.
sounds interesting.
I was thinking
Yeah, did
something
you see
dark.
this right here?
The sour blonde ale blend.
No, the
Underneath
little
it.
right up beneath it.
A beer for Cersei, who reminds us that everyone who isn't us is an enemy. Exquisite blend of sour ale and Belgian-style blonde ale. Nice.
Ooh.
This is interesting. I like it.
Yeah,
Where'd
I've
you
been
get
waiting.
that?
They've got them right now. This Omegon Brewery, they do these Game of Thrones beers.
Is that the only place you can get it?
No, you can get them all over.
Like where? Like grocery store?
Yeah, I got that at a grocery store.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And they've got them everywhere. And as soon as I saw it, because, you know, you and I just finished True Detective.
Yeah.
And I know that now I'm getting amped up for Game of
Oh
Thrones.
my gosh, am I getting amped up?
We're in like 30 some days.
I know.
And so I figured I'd pick this up for you. Let you try a little Game of Thrones.
This is
ale.
one of those 750 milliliter bottles.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's a 6.4%. So
not
it's
an ass kicker.
Interesting.
I mean, it's up there, but it's not an ass kicker.
1.9.4 fluid ounces.
Now, I have had 2 other Game of Thrones beers in the past, and they've been really bad.
Yeah, I remember one that was.
I think we did a deli with one
What,
time.
they from this same place?
Yeah, they're the
Yeah.
ones who have the,
Cool.
the licensing for it. Yeah, I don't actually expect great things out
right.
of this beer,
Yeah.
but I knew that you would be
I
pretty.
would appreciate it.
Yeah, you'd
for
be
sure.
pretty psyched right now because we are inching ever closer to
Thank
Game
you.
of Thrones. So I wanted to pay
I
homage.
feel like I've seen these.
Whoa, that's a good look.
I feel like
What?
I've seen these brands at Costco before.
Yeah, they sell them
Dude.
at Costco. Boy, that's got a stink to it.
I've never heard the sour and blonde together. That's a very interesting mix.
I love a
It is not dissimilar from the rosé.
Really?
Yeah,
Last week.
that's
callback.
interesting.
yeah, a little more sour.
Everybody quietly tasting. Oh,
Yeah,
I taste a wheat beer. Tastes like to me, it tastes wheaty. Mm-hmm. Like a Hefeweizen with a little more sour kick to it.
that is interesting.
How much was this beer?
$10 for the 750 milliliter.
Game of Thrones Royal Reserve Collection.
Yep, and they do this all the time, and it's. I mean, you gotta imagine they must make a fortune when Game of Thrones comes back, and everyone like gets their, because it used to be that you would get the one that was like for the House of Tyrell or the house. You would get
Yeah.
the one that you rooted for them, and now we're nearing the end. So this
I don't
is,
watch. So what is this? What's this whole in reference to? The Queen
Oh
of
my
the
God.
Seven Kingdoms.
She's the dragon mom, and she's also smoking hot.
So
that's
she's
not the dragon mom at all.
Cersei's not the dragon mom. Oh, she's the worst of them. She's the
She's Joffrey's mom.
Oh God, she's the
Yeah,
worst.
She is the worst.
She's the Lannister.
in
Yeah.
Khaleesi or something.
Yeah, Khaleesi.
Khaleesi.
That's-
I was thinking Khaleesi. Yeah, no, she is. Yeah, and she is the queen of the Seven Kingdoms as it sits today.
Yes,
As
she
it
is.
sits today, we shall
She's
see.
a badass chick.
She is
Yeah,
she is a
she's-
badass chick, but she's not the one. Khaleesi's the one that I absolutely love.
Yeah,
But I think every
that's the
grown
mother
man.
of dragons.
Yeah, and she's pretty sexy.
Yeah, I've heard that name. That's one that sticks out.
Yeah,
Everybody talks.
Khaleesi.
Everybody talks about her.
Cersei's a ruthless bitch. Straight up
Absolutely.
ruthless.
Yeah.
And that's who this is
Yeah.
referencing.
So I figured I'd pick it up.
All
So-
of her kids are with her brother, by the way.
So we know that this is what she drank back in the day?
Yes.
Okay.
This is actually historically accurate.
For
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
This is definitely Tyrion loves the
Did you hear what I
show.
said?
Yeah, they're all with her brother.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Not weird at all, right?
No,
Totally normal.
Well, it's a
Right.
good bloodline.
But she's married to the actual king, plays it off like they're the king's kids, and then they get the
it's-
next line of the throne.
It's on the brother, but on the DL.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So it's like immaculate. Like King's like not. I guess he's hitting it.
Oh,
but
yeah. He just thinks they're his.
Whoa.
Yeah, next level.
I can see why people love the show.
it's
Yeah,
it's a little
A
weird.
lot of incest and dragons. Sounds
Yeah.
cool.
it is.
Yes, but you don't let the dragons do incest because it's just Not
Weird.
good for the
then you have
bloodline.
a
Yeah.
fucked up dragon.
No,
That's not what you want.
No.
Looking over here, shooting over there.
Yeah.
those
problem.
fucking dragons are badass.
Oh.
And now the bad guy's got a dragon.
It's fantastic. It's really exciting, actually.
I'm super stoked.
So like, we're gonna geek out over here. This I knew he would get fired up about this. I was like, I gotta get this.
So the historical dragon things, because we all learned about
That is a crazy thing to think about.
Yeah, like I was gonna ask, like we've all heard about dragons historically. Like, did motherfuckers believe in that
Where
back
did
in
it
the
come
day?
from?
Yeah, like
they had to have drawn them and
Yeah.
got the idea from something.
we didn't come up with that. Like, oh, there's
Yeah.
castles. Let's make them the nice fight dragons. Like,
I mean, you see lizards like Komodo dragons and things like that actually kind of have that look to them. But why are they these creatures that fly around and blow fire? Like, what the fuck happened that you were like, yep, that's a dragon? And the fucked up thing is, they're in cultures that never spoke to each other.
Exactly.
yeah,
Like, you got the Asian cultures and then you got like the European cultures, and they're like, have you guys seen the dragons? Yes, they're subtly different, but in the same way monkeys are subtly different in different
Right.
parts of the world. Like, what the hell is that?
you think like they all just figured out, like, if down the road they just see we were just wearing all this heavy gear and beating the shit out of each other, that's gonna look weird.
Right.
We need to make it cooler than that.
Exactly.
What you got?
Something that flies.
Yes.
But everyone just thought of it. Like, I understand, like, sea monsters
like-
are like probably giant squids or octopus. Like,
Yeah.
you kind of saw some of that. Plus,
Yeah.
they had big ass whales and everything. Like, I
Or like
kind
a
of get it.
Sasquatch, it could be a bear walking upright or
Yeah,
something.
for sure.
But like, oh, I killed this Komodo dragon. Okay, that's not badass enough. Like, that thing's just chilling.
Yeah.
Put some wings on it, make it breathe fire.
Bears don't breathe fire. Yeah.
Funny thing about like Sasquatch and Yeti and all that shit, those are all different parts of the world that are like, yep, this creature
I
exists.
think that they might be real.
You do?
I do. Well, let me go back.
Okay, which one?
Watching I saw an amazing special on I want to say Zapruder, but that's Kennedy. What's the main Sasquatch footage?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The old
Oh,
grainy
yeah,
one where it's
yeah.
walking across the creek.
Yes.
I can't think of it. Yeah, Zapruder's definitely the
Yeah,
magic
yeah.
bullet
Right.
shot.
So, anyways, I saw a special. I want to say it was on Netflix about that video, and
Thought they
It's
debunked
fucking-
that a long time ago.
yeah, a lot of people have. Most people have, but
But that's not the angle this Netflix thing went after it.
yeah, no, it was
What are the odds?
insane.
Yeah.
It was just. I don't even know. I mean, I could sit here and tell you a few things, but you just need to watch it because
I feel like we definitely don't know everything that's out there,
Yeah.
but I feel like
Well,
the Sasquatch thing we would come across.
I would
Like,
think so, right?
it's not like
come
it's something that's living 10,000 feet in the bottom of the ocean,
Right.
right? Where we don't get to. But like,
Exactly.
you're telling me I have footage of literally 100 yards away. We have millions of footage and
Yeah.
stories of I just saw it right there,
right.
and you were not going to find a corpse of it or something.
And there's
Like,
tons of people that fake that shit, which I don't understand that either.
yeah,
yeah, there's
Who does that?
But all right, so Troy, you just were talking to me earlier today about the Wallace bee. The Wallace bee hasn't been seen in forever.
yes,
So the Wallace bee was a bee that was discovered like in the 1800s by the guy who was Darwin's right-hand man.
Okay.
So his name was Wallace.
thing
He
is
was-
huge.
He was over in Indonesia and found this bee. Now this bee is the size of your thumb.
Okay.
Is how big it is. So a regular bee, itty bitty. This thing's the size of your thumb.
Yeah.
But it's got the big old pinchers of I can't think of what that beetle is, but everyone knows what I'm talking
Oh,
about. The
yeah,
huge
yeah,
mandibles. And so it's got those on it, and then it's this huge ass body the size of your thumb and these big old wings, and it can fuck you up.
Really?
So the Wallace bee was discovered back when Darwin happened, right? And then it was never seen again.
Well, they thought it was extinct,
And then
which
they
we
saw
know.
it. They saw it 40 years ago. One person reported it, and they were like, did you really see it? Well, now they've officially found the Wallace bees again in Indonesia. I mean, those things have disappeared.
So your argument is the Sasquatch could be that way.
I'm just saying it is possible, right? This guy documented it and drew it, Wallace.
Yes,
And we said, okay, it exists. And then it wasn't seen again for all those years. And
but
then
a bee the size of your thumb is harder to find as opposed to a 500-pound, 8-foot.
Right.
sure,
mammal.
I'm just saying
Like,
it's not
yeah.
impossible.
It's definitely not impossible. I just feel like we'd have some data. Like especially with the DNA thing now, like you think we'd have some
Exactly.
hair or something.
Right.
Like, yeah, you might not find the corpse because they're super good at burying their dead.
Yeah,
or
which
something.
is because we're pretty good at burying our dead, but people find bodies all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there's more of
Well, a lot
us.
of it was like basically, like even the top Hollywood couldn't create what that was
Oh, really?
in no way, shape, or
Yeah,
form.
the gait
I mean,
of it in particular.
the
I
gait,
think.
like they zoomed in and there was actually like the actual thigh muscles that we have that you can see flexing and moving as it's walking, and it's like no one could build that shit ever.
Yeah.
At that time in science, they had fucking. Remember, William Shatner was karate chopping clay monsters and shit. You know what I mean? Like they didn't
They
have
didn't
that.
have the CGI
Right.
and all the
And
effects.
I mean, it had the perfect wrist gait, the way that it moved, the way that they talk about the way that animal's foot would have to bend, and the way that like it kind of hunches and walks lower. It's just an amazing show that shows a lot of things where you're like, yeah, how the fuck would you make a thigh muscle
maybe.
that flexes?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is making a legitimately flexing thigh muscle as it walks?
I want to believe.
Yeah,
like,
I hear you. Me too.
I would.
everyone's got a phone.
I would
Right.
watch that
where is
Netflix documentary and eat it up. Like I want to believe.
Just
like
me,
yeah.
yeah.
But the logical side of my brain goes,
I'm 100% with you.
all right, dude, give me a
Yeah.
little bit of, like you said, especially now. There's camera traps everywhere now.
Yeah.
You see them set those things up, and all they catch are fucking deer and wombats and shit wandering
Like
around.
it's fair that it's a fair point that there's no chance that anyone in the woods that right now does not have a phone. They're fucking
Yeah.
catching that
Yeah.
shit if it shows up.
Or
and
to-
all those Sasquatch tracking shows are like, oh, it was just dark and my phone was in the knapsack.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? You're like, come on, man.
Yeah,
They're like,
that
the fuck,
kills
dude?
me because
Yeah.
we're investing that kind of money. If
It
it
threw
was
a
out
rock.
there-
See it hurt. You heard it? Threw a rock.
That's where I was going next.
Yeah.
They always go like, they hear a sound, they're like, that's definitely
was that y'all? Was that you?
and they're always like, did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's definitely a Sasquatch sound. And you're like, we don't know what that sound
no
is.
one knows what it sounds
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
And they do the knocking thing on the
Oh,
tree. It's like,
yeah.
oh, you know they do that. We've never even seen one, but
Right.
you already know
that.
They,
Yeah.
they
It's well
grab-
documented,
yeah.
Troy.
Yeah.
Why
it's
didn't you
science.
tap 3 times?
Right.
Come on, you're blowing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's not going to be attracted to you with the 2 knock.
That's
Wh-
hilarious.
When you applied for this job, you told me you spoke Sasquatch.
Yeah.
You're fucking up. You're out of here.
Bullshit.
I do want to believe that shit though.
I know.
Especially like
I think we all want to believe
I
it.
feel like Loch Ness too. Like I feel like I don't know. Under the water, I feel like is a totally alien world.
Anything's
and I'm
possible.
expecting
Yeah.
like
You go down to certain depths, you're going to find things like we don't
Crazy
know.
shit. Yeah.
We don't know a lot
No.
that's in the water.
No.
And that's fine. I'm willing to believe that. But
I read somewhere once that we've explored the amount of the ocean we've explored is if you took a cup and dipped it in the ocean, and that's how much we've explored, which is insanity.
yeah, I don't even understand how that ratio works.
There's
Like-
that much. We've only explored the top part.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so much below that top.
of course.
you know-
yeah, and we barely see it.
Yeah.
But the Loch Ness Monster's in a fucking lake.
Yeah, but that lake also, if I remember correctly,
Yeah,
like
it's got tunnels that lead out to
Yeah.
things, which look, damn swallows of Capistrano come back from all over that one spot. I mean,
Yeah.
it does happen that there's
yeah,
weird stuff like that. I'll give you that.
And I'm more apt to believe that that historic photo of Loch Ness was some weird log floating.
yeah, but I do love seeing it. Every time I see it, I get jazzed up.
yeah, hell yeah.
I'm like, oh, look at that. That looks sweet. That thing's awesome.
And like the way they rendered it, it's kind of like you've seen dinosaurs that look like that.
well,
So
that's
it's
what
like-
gets you.
Yeah.
Because our imagination runs wild very quickly. And we go, yep, that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's the one. Maybe not necessarily.
What if they did find something like that though?
I mean, I'd be pretty psyched.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. But again, I think sea creatures are far easier to imagine.
Yes.
Just because we have come across some ridiculous creatures that
Yeah.
come out of the ocean
Yeah.
that we're like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, that doesn't. It's alien. It's
I mean, I've
literally- it's
seen-
an alien life form.
I was wakeboarding once and I saw, what is that? There's a sturgeon. I saw a sturgeon crest jump out of the water. I was laying there in the water and this thing crested and jumped up next to me. It must have been every bit of 8 feet long. And it jumped out, and in the air I could just see scales and armor on
Yeah.
it that I was like, that can't be real. And it looked like a sea monster. I was in the freaking James River.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't out there in the depths, and that creature was enough to scare the crap out of me.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. I was like, I'm dead, man.
Yeah.
This is how I go.
Yep.
Which is an awesome way to go to a dinosaur while wakeboarding. Like, finally, he died doing what he loved.
That's right.
And searching for dinosaurs. He combined wakeboarding and archaeology, just like he always said he would.
And all the just millions of hours of research they've done on the Sasquatch thing. Like, you've got nothing. They always find hair, and it always comes back to some animal we know of that lives in the freaking forest. Like,
yeah,
and if that dude,
and now
if you get a 500-pound, 8-foot-tall freaking man walking around, he's gonna leave some hair somewhere. But how much hair do you leave in your bathroom, getting out of the shower?
The thing that has discredited Sasquatch to me more than anything is the footage that you're seeing now of like black bears and grizzly bears walking on two legs, and like just walking around, looking all weird as crap the way they walk. And I'm like, huh. I gotta believe that if they've been doing that all awkwardly for a long time, there it is.
Exactly.
There's one of a black bear wandering around on two legs, and like his front paw is just jacked. And so he just is like, all right, I can't 4-pedal around. I'm going up on 2. And I'm just going to wander around on 2. Adapt and overcome.
I think you see that coming through the woods at you. You're like, no, you should have seen it.
Hell yeah.
It was a Sasquatch.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it is odd that Yeti, the abominable snowman and all that, like, you get these different cultures from different times.
I've seen Rudolph. He's real.
Couldn't communicate, and they all
kind of goofy looking.
They all preach the same thing. But notice in those countries, they're white, like
his
the polar
sister's
bear.
his mom. His aunt's his mom.
It happens. It happens. So I don't know.
It is weird how
but the dragon thing.
It goes across borders and countries and.
Yep.
It does at a time where words didn't travel very fast.
Yeah.
So in order to have legends in different areas, what is that?
Yeah.
What happened there? Maybe they had pterodactyls flying around like.
All it takes is one
ago.
well-traveled dude to end up in Asia and be like, back where I'm from, we have these things that walk through the woods. And then you put that in somebody's head, and next thing you know, they're seeing things wandering around their woods.
Exactly.
Yep. Actually, that's not.
Pretty much.
You got it. Were we doing a deli?
We were doing it.
Apparently.
We've been known to go sideways here and there, so I think we went sideways.
Not usually during the deli.
No, not.
That's typically like an area of focus for us.
I'll go first.
Yeah, please do.
Obviously the marketing of this is genius. Doesn't mean anything to me because I'm one of the two or three people who've never watched the show.
Right.
Sour Blonde Ale blend sounds delicious because those are in my wheelhouse. And I would say this is an amazing beer. I think this is very good.
Wow.
And if it weren't packaged in a 750 milliliter bottle and sold in a 6-pack with another name, I'd definitely buy it. And I would buy this again too, but just this wouldn't catch my eye wandering through the store.
Right.
But I think it's a very good beer. I'd give this a 3.5, 4.
Damn.
I like this beer.
Wow.
I mean, that was a lot higher than I expected.
Yeah.
I wish we had more. I'd continue to drink it.
Well, I did notice you kept pouring it.
Yeah.
And you've been light on your drinking lately, so that's interesting.
This is delicious.
I have been wrestling the other direction on this one a little bit.
It tastes like something, and I can't piece it. It reminds me of another beer that I like, but I can't put my.
It reminds me of a Hardywood single.
Better than that.
It reminds me of a Hardywood single that has a little bit of sour to it. In my mind, unfortunately, like the other Omegang beers, I don't think they do a great job with it.
Underwhelming.
I'm falling the other direction. I like the white ale flavor on it. I think that's actually pretty good. I get that.
Maybe it's Allagash it's reminding me of.
I wish. It's got that Belgian wit, which I like.
Yeah.
But the sour has stayed sour on me. Like it hasn't.
I do like a sour.
You do, and I feel like the sour has stayed. The funny thing is, it wasn't a powerful sour, like right out of the box. It didn't hit me like, oh my gosh. but it has stayed with it
I see what you did
to the
there.
point that oh my gosh, you got it. That I'm faltering between a 2.5 and a 3, and just to play contrarian, I'm going to go 2.5 for no other reason because So I'm going to say it's a 2.5.
What did I say? 3.5.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just to fall the other direction, I will say 2.5 to 3, but I'll settle at the 2.5.
You wouldn't buy it again and tell people to buy it.
I think there's better beers in this genre that I would rather have.
Okay.
So because of that, I would say that this is on the lower end of my spectrum. I'm not a huge fan. Like, it does a good job of a wit beer, but the sour is a little
Nothing
much.
to write home about.
A little much for me. It's very much like Cersei
Yeah.
in and of itself. You know, like
skanky.
I get that you're an attractive woman and that you're powerful, and I'm attracted to that.
Yeah.
But you're an asshole.
Right.
I don't like assholes.
Total asshole.
So 2.5, because Cersei's an asshole.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you.
Oh,
The sour.
That's Brendan.
Yeah, this the Brendan. I'm sorry. The sour sticks around too hard. for
too
me.
much sour.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had to reach to find the, the Belgian beer flavor in there, but I did find it.
Because it was too sour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the sour does stick around, like it's still floating around in there.
And it's not giving up. I like
Right.
a goza.
It's like a hop beer.
yeah, I like
and
a
then-
sour that hits me and goes away.
Yeah.
That
Goes
away.
away.
Boy, I'm hitting them
You
all
are
tonight.
Wow.
Punning it up,
Yeah,
dude.
not meaning to.
So I give it a 2.5.
Yeah, so we're not bringing home a deli on this one. But from a marketing
they're
perspective,
both of you gave 2.5, which is kind of on the outskirts of the deli, but
the 3's
I'm
where
gonna-
the deli begins.
I'm going to say no on the deli.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a deli. They weren't positive 2.5s.
Unfortunately, not. Very much like Cersei. Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
Shame.
Shame. See, you don't get that reference.
Well, I mean,
Troy's like-
I know what shame means,
Yeah. Right.
so I do
Got that
understand
much.
that. Yeah.
there you go.
So don't buy this unless you really like Game of Thrones, which I guess everyone listening does.
Yeah.
But if you're a true sour fan, because you're a big sour fan and you're the one who gave it the highest ranking.
right.
So, I mean, that would be the saving grace of it. But unfortunately for me, it needed a little more Belgian
Imagine how
wheat
good
beer.
this would be if he did watch Game of Thrones.
Ooh.
It'd be a 4.5,
Yeah.
which I'm pretty psyched about. Game of Thrones is coming back.
Yeah, I'm
They're
really
about to wrap
excited
it up,
about
though,
that
right?
last
No,
one.
this is the final one.
This is.
And apparently everything they've done this year, like every episode is a movie in and of itself.
Yeah.
Like they've really gone all out. So the budgets have been just extreme.
I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about the New World Order with all these shows that they're coming out with and it has to do with the people that consume it. These shows aren't going 8, 9, 10 seasons anymore.
Yeah.
They're all dropping down to like 3 and 4, and because people like to binge watch everything,
Right.
and they're just putting out a season or two, and then maybe another season or two, and then it's done. They'll just, successful or not, they're just like, we're moving on from here.
Right.
You know, in the rest of the world, the 5, 6, 7 season thing is a total anomaly. Like that's a very American thing, because like even in like The Office in Britain was what, 3 seasons?
Something like that.
Well, usually the way we work here is if you're still getting,
That's it. We go after the money.
yeah,
And over there, I say over there, I mean, just in general, you know, they tend to go for a story. They have a beginning and an end, and if they can
Yeah.
get to it, they're happy about that. And we have a tendency to monetize it and say, hey, people are really digging this. I think we can go longer.
Did y'all watch The Office
Yes.
in its entirety?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been on in syndication lately, and my wife's been watching a lot of it,
Oh, it's so good.
and it is amazing. And I will sit down and watch an episode. I'll be like, I have no idea what that. I remember none of this,
Yeah.
I find that a lot.
and it's crazy. Like I saw all of Seinfeld, but I remember all of Seinfeld, so it's so weird that like,
Every once in a while, you'll catch a gem in Seinfeld where you're
yeah,
like, I don't remember this one. It's rare these days.
Yeah.
The one that is really still coming out of the woodwork these days is The Simpsons, because we all dropped off about 10 years ago on The Simpsons.
We did.
I'm the same way with South Park.
Everybody, oh my God, South Park's exactly the same way. They've been putting out, The Simpsons and South Park have been putting out amazing episodes, but it's no longer like appointment television. You don't, even
Are you
if
telling
it's,
me that the Simpsons are making new shows right now?
They're still going.
it's the longest running show ever
It's
made.
like 25,
I knew it was
26
that
years.
10 years ago.
Still.
It's definitely,
still
they just
go-
renewed
I'm
for,
saying I didn't realize that they were still making new
Yes.
episodes right now.
they
Yes.
just renewed for 2 or 3 more seasons. Like I just read that the other day.
I had no idea.
We have a friend, mutual friend, Ely and I, who watches South Park religiously.
Really?
And he'll hit me up and be like, dude, and I mean, they're still on brand where they're doing weekly,
Oh, yeah.
like,
And really well.
and knocking it out of the park. But
Yeah.
I don't watch it anymore.
I've realized that The Simpsons show up on my DVR. Like I always have the last 5 episodes in queue.
yeah.
And the other night I was like, I should just watch The Simpsons. Like I haven't done this in forever. And I went back and I found an episode. I was like, all right, I like the write-up. This looks good. I watched it. It was flat out hilarious front to back about like Bart wanting to step up his game on crank calls. So he ordered Mo a Russian mail order bride.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was so good. But now it's so modern, like
Yeah.
with all the cell phones and everything. And you don't think of The Simpsons as being that. It's brilliant
Really?
how good it still is. Like I was laughing the whole time, and I was like, why am I not watching this?
Right.
And I've done that. I've gone back with South Park because I'm on the road so often, and
Well-
oftentimes South Park comes out on Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
That seems to be a night that I'm just like stuck in a hotel room working.
I know
So,
why
like,
you
I'll
don't
throw it
watch
on.
any of this stuff, because you can't watch all the good television that's out. You just
Yeah.
can't.
You're exactly
That's very
right.
true.
You can't. I mean, if you watch 2 solid hours of television every night, most people tell you shouldn't, and that won't even put a dent in the amount of great television that's out there.
That's a fact.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, from what I've heard of Netflix, I'm still one of the people that doesn't have Netflix. I've heard you don't need to have anything else because you can't watch all the stuff that they have from back in the day, and 2, all the new awesome stuff they're putting out.
That's
Like,
right.
you could just have Netflix and get rid of, if you don't care about live sports and other stuff, you could have Netflix and be more than entertained.
I believe my
For your
kids
lifetime.
only have Netflix. Like
Yeah.
this, my kids. In fact, my kids think there's 2 channels, so they're going to be like
YouTube and Netflix.
Oh, I'm sorry, they have 3 channels.
Yeah, I was
They
going
have
to
3
say.
channels. They have YouTube, Netflix, and now they watch Amazon.
Ah.
But those are the 3 channels they have.
crazy.
As far as they're concerned, they live in the same universe we did as children. There's 3 channels.
Isn't that
That's
weird?
crazy.
That's it. But they have so much more
Right.
content to
Yeah.
go through. And
Your
YouTube,
kids got my kids on that YouTube show.
well, that show's hilarious.
And-
Ninja Kids.
Yeah, and my boys will just watch that over and over and over and over.
I think Ninja Kids is the most genius show ever. It's a Netflix channel, and the only reason
Oh, it's a
I
Netflix
even
channel?
I mean, I'm sorry, it's a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
The only reason I even ever became aware of it is because my kids were watching. I walked by, and one of the kids looks exactly like your kid.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
like literally, that is your child in 4
Yeah,
years.
you hit me up. You were like, man, I walked by the TV, and this kid looks just like your older son. And I was like, okay, whatever.
He probably looks similar.
Let me pull it
No.
up. Yeah, he has brown hair and probably. And I was like, oh, dude, that's creepy.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Like he
Like
really looks like my
spot
son.
on. Like it's weird, but this show.
I want to punch
All
half
they-
those kids in their face.
All they
though.
do is they do like a 20-minute episode about something where they're playing with a certain toy. And then at the end, the big reveal is like, here's the toy. Buy it here. Subscribe down below. And I'm like, oh, my God, it's a commercial.
And they go on epic vacations.
They do.
And you're just like, I want to do that.
Yeah, I would say 25% of the shows they do other cool stuff. 75% of the shows are an ad. And it's brilliant because they get 1.5 million views in like a couple months.
I saw the other day they had like over 4 million subscribers. Like that's
It's
got to be their
insane.
job now. Like their parents, that's probably
Oh,
all
those
they
kids
do.
are paid. Oh yeah, those parents.
Yeah,
are
yeah.
like- well, you know for certain, like one of those parents is in marketing and
Yeah.
figured this out pretty early on. It was like, hey, let's monetize the kids.
It kills me though
Right.
when I see
You
when
know?
we watch it and they're like in Hawaii and they're doing these cheesy ass Ninja Kid TV shows, whatever, for lack of a better term. I'm like, they can't even be on vacation because they have to like
They constantly have to have the camera
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
and
they
do
gotta
that.
be like,
Yeah, the parents at a minimum are working. The kids are probably having some fun, but
yeah.
on some level, it's probably like
Then
being
I
a
always
child
think
star.
about like what goes into shooting those, right? Like you got to do all the editing and all the, all the pre-production and post-production. Like it's not easy. I mean, people think
no.
all these things are easy. None of it's easy. It takes a lot of work.
I keep going back to wondering if the whole, like, would Game of Thrones be making more money if it wasn't on HBO?
No, I think
You mean if it was on Netflix or if it was on ABC?
No, like on ABC, because just because they're missing. Are they missing ad revenue?
I mean, you have to pay for it. So
Right, but HBO can't sell anything other than the service.
Yeah.
yeah, but they sell the service.
I mean, I get it that it works. I'm just saying it just.
I don't know the X's and O's, but I would agree with Ely. Like, if you were on a major channel and because each ad space, right, costs different. So if you were to pay for that ad space during that show,
I'd argue that would be the case back in the 90s, but in this day and age, with the ability to stream all of that and the revenue that they can get from HBO Go,
would
doing the
people
streaming,
hate it if they had to sit through commercials?
I think I would tolerate commercials to watch it.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Or you just DVR and fast forward?
But HBO, they recognized a long time ago, actually the head of HBO about four years ago, I'd say, actually had released a statement saying, I recognize that we're the most pirated service right now. Because HBO Go, people were handing it over.
Right.
And they had seen some amount of information that said, like, even more so than Netflix, it was being pirated.
Wow.
And they were like, we're okay with that. Because as long as we keep putting out the content, they're like, eventually we'll crack down on it. But right now, it's helping us move into this streaming game because that's the future anyway. So they needed it to get to the point where the HBO Go login
So they were
was that
smarter.
important.
They're smarter than the musicians who are like,
Fought it.
give me my 3 cents for playing that song.
Yeah,
Like,
Lars Ulrich and
Yeah.
those guys, they fought against it so hard.
Yeah.
Well, they were looking at it through an archaic view. I
Yeah.
mean, you had to get to the point where HBO Go becomes the streaming service that is that popular because ultimately HBO knows that they don't need DirecTV. They don't need Cablevision, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
They're going to live on their own as a streaming service. And that's their whole model at this point. And that's what he was
But
getting
they're not
after.
there. When are they doing that?
Well, they're probably now starting to crack down on some of that and moving towards it.
But I mean, can you get HBO right now if you don't have it through your cable company?
I believe I could.
I don't think so.
I believe I can just pay for the app and give them $10 a month. I don't know that for certain. But I believe, look that up and see if you can get that, Troy. But I believe that's what the guy
you
was.
have to be able to.
That's what he was saying. He goes, I understand how pirated we are. And he's like, and I'm perfectly fine with that because he needed to make it to the point that it was a channel that was worth paying for outside of the cable companies.
Right.
Because once they get out of the cable universe, they're only getting a little bit of that money from the cable company.
Yeah.
Once it's all theirs, then they're like Netflix. It's far more profitable.
It might be HBO Now.
It's essentially typed in, can you get HBO without cable? It's essentially HBO's streaming service, HBO Go, without a cable TV subscription. It provides access to everything HBO has to offer on demand and current seasons of shows that are available the minute they air. HBO Now is available on Apple TV, Roku, Chromecast, ISO devices, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and Android devices.
So there you go. You just pay for the service because they knew they had to get away from that.
Yeah.
So in the old model, it was great because they jumped on cable early and became one of the few premier channels on cable.
And they were putting out original content from the jump, too.
Oh, yeah, like way back in the day, like the Dream Ons and things
Dream
like that
On
of
was
the
awesome.
world. Yeah, they always had that. Even Sex and the City predates, truly streaming services.
Oh, yeah.
So they were always ahead of the curve creating their own content. I don't think they recognized the end game for what it was, but they did recognize that they had to produce content to get people to go, what's the difference between Cinemax, Showtime? Like Cinemax put all of their money on tits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Showtime was like, well, we just have great movies. The movie channel died. Like they didn't really hold up.
I think TMC's still around though.
Showtime's got some good shows.
But then Showtime figured it out. They started making Shameless.
Made Dexter.
Yeah, Showtime was the second one to really grab that and go, no, you're right. This is a good move. They started making that content. So now Showtime and HBO can live on their own.
Yeah.
A lot of those, even like AMC, they did the
Handmaid's Tale?
Well, yeah, but also
that was
AMC did the one
but
with
they killed it. Whoever did Handmaid's Tale.
Don Draper. Yeah. That was AMC, right? Like,
I
mean, a lot of these smaller, companies are putting out quality product.
Well, that's even who did like Breaking Bad was like a TNT.
Yeah, that was
thing.
AMC.
Yeah, so that's all figuring out that it's all about putting out good content. And Netflix just happened to have the vehicle to do that early on.
Yeah.
So they were in a good spot. But the game is
they had the infrastructure.
And it's like
to get it out there.
So you get a great show on AMC. You get a lot of people to talk about it. You sign up to AMC. And then are the people that were subscribing to HBO at season 5 of Game of Thrones, is the cost of money that they've spent to get to season 8
covering it?
Covering the extra people. Because people were already there at season 5.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's important to have a loss leader if that's where it really ends up. You need something that makes you relevant.
I fully agree with that, but do you see what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like are your subscriptions from season 5 covering the cost of making the last 2 seasons?
This last season is definitely it's a huge budget killer. But if you look at the amount of money that's in this stuff, I mean it's extravagant.
I think the reason that a lot of these shows that we've mentioned aren't on the CBS's, NBC's, and ABC's of the world is because they're living in an archaic world. They haven't come around on it.
Oh, for sure.
They're still like, let's do the Big Bang Theory and do laugh tracks and silly shit, and it's
but that costs nothing to produce.
Exactly.
That's why the networks do reality television more than anything else, because it costs nothing to do reality television. You're paying the producer. You're not paying the people in it very much.
Yeah.
And they're the stars.
Yeah.
But the producer's the one who gets paid to keep figuring it out and make it happen. It's a different game, but Ely, you may be right. Like they may not cover the cost of this last season. I mean, they've talked about the expenses more so than I've ever heard anybody talk about the show.
They had
expenses.
to stop making Rome because it cost so much.
Really?
Yeah, because of the extravagant, which is
but what'll happen is they might lose on this end of it, but when they come out with their next product, people are already going to want to buy into it because they're already going to know it's going to be great.
Yeah.
These guys do great things.
And that's it, because you want people to subscribe and keep buying.
Yeah.
Soon they'll be an independent, entity.
Yeah.
We're getting there faster.
If you go on that HBO app, it is awesome.
There's so much good stuff there.
Oh, my God. You can live on that. I mean, every show they've ever made
is still available.
Every series.
Oh, yeah, you can go back.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Movies.
Go watch Deadwood or E.T., whatever it is.
Exactly.
Wow.
I mean, it's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, that app is pretty good. And once, I'll tell you, the day DirecTV loses Sunday Ticket, I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't need this shit, because every single channel that I really like, which I probably watch the same 5 channels.
An app.
Yeah, it has an app that I can subscribe to. So why wouldn't I pay $50?
I only watch hockey games. That's all, and the Redskins games.
We have cable for one thing.
Really?
And that is we love VCU basketball.
Right.
But yeah, once that goes, like the Cubs this year are starting their own channel.
Yeah.
And they're going to start streaming all that stuff. Like I subscribe to MLB Network just to get the Cubs. If it costs me less and then just get rid of the MLB package, then it's gone.
Right.
I mean, it's all changing, and we're all going to get to pick and choose exactly what we want.
But they're all going to figure a way to make their money, like we've talked about.
Because
my wife and I've looked at cutting cable for years now, and every time we do the research and we call them, they go, "Yeah, we'll cut your cable, and we'll get rid of this and we'll get rid of that, and your internet will skyrocket."
Right.
That's the thing. You got to be able to get internet. So the people in the best position, they don't have to make content. They don't have to do anything. They control the bandwidth.
Yes.
That's all you really need. Bandwidth is the answer, and that's why everyone's kind of getting away from a lot of things and just pumping bandwidth.
Yeah.
So AT&T made a bad choice. They bought DirecTV. So they had the bandwidth, and then they also had this infrastructure. When they lose Sunday Ticket, they're fucked. Because all those DirecTV people are going to leave.
Yeah.
But then I'm still going to need the bandwidth. So
Yeah.
then maybe I go back to AT&T at half the price.
Yeah.
We shall see.
They know what they're doing.
I mean, they'll figure it out. I'd rather be in control of the pipeline than the channels, though, because it's a lot of work.
sure.
A lot of work to make content.
Oh, yeah.
Well, allow everyone else to be what's popular.
Yep.
I agree.
Good trick, Troy. I don't know what you're doing over there. So, I wasn't ending the show. What was that? What was that happening? I was ending the show.
Yeah, you were.
It happens. I got to get to San Diego.
Like you.
Yeah, it's been a good show.
I thought so. That Omegon. Yeah. I feel threatened. Now, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We certainly do appreciate you showing up every week, week in and week out. If you haven't had a chance to Cincinnati swap somebody, how about you go ahead and do that? Grab the person's phone next to you and just sign them up for the show. When I was in Chicago, I met a guy in an Irish bar, and I went ahead and signed him up. Paul, shout out to you if you're actually listening still at
That's
this point.
simple.
It was a pleasure meeting you, my friend. I hope you're still listening to the show. Share it with Jimmy and all the rest of the
give
crew.
us a 5-star rating while you're at it, because that really helps us out.
It does help the cause. If you haven't sent any topics in to us, we'd love to hear from you. You can do so at insidethepallethouse@gmail.com or at ITPH Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. I believe we have a Facebook page that one of these guys is
We
checking.
do. And if you're not going to give us a 5-star rating, give us a $5 bill. It's that simple.
Dude,
I don't think that's difficult.
Yeah.
not a bad idea. All right, we'll take your money instead.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week. Cheers.
Cheers. That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?